Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, ringsidenews.com. We are coming off a very eventful Raw, the final Raw of 2014. Got your questions from spring.me/Aaron Rift. Let's get started with the first one today from Ben Jones 31945. Hey Aaron, two questions here. Number one, what did you think of Raw? Rated out of 10, I give it a 7. I really liked it. Now that Daniel Bryan will be in the Royal Rumble, do you see WWE making Daniel Bryan win and beat the Beast at a WrestleMania 31 match? Please answer in video. First off, regarding Raw, I thought that it was a great show. From top to bottom, I think I would give it a 9. You know, there were a few slow moments, but that is what you have to come to expect when Raw is a 3-hour show. You're going to have your filler segments, but a lot of things happened on this show. We had Brock Lesnar, we had Edge and Christian, we had the big angle at the end with the Authority coming back, and then of course, as you mentioned, Daniel Bryan coming out. We thought maybe he would announce his retirement, but when Jerry Lawler was teasing that Daniel Bryan might retire, it seemed to me at that point like Daniel Bryan would be announcing his return. And as it turns out, we got the good news. Daniel Bryan will be in the 2015 Royal Rumble. And this is very interesting because what does this mean now for the Roman Reigns push? Is Roman Reigns going to win the Royal Rumble now? Or is Daniel Bryan going to win the Royal Rumble and conquer Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 31? That is going to be interesting to see how this storyline plays out, because right now I think the sympathy is with Daniel Bryan. When he came out there, he talked about his dad dying, and you know, you could see him getting teary-eyed, and he talked about his surgery and his injuries. It was a segment where you really felt for Daniel Bryan, and I think the emotional investment is in Daniel Bryan. People want to see that story. They want to see him come back and regain the WWE title, and I just feel that is what people want to see. Do they want to see Roman Reigns, who is still not really established as a top guy yet, win the WWE title when their hearts are with Daniel Bryan? It's going to be really interesting to see how things play out at the Royal Rumble. Got this question here from Carbold Tunnel. Hey Aaron, just wanted your thoughts on tonight's Raw. I thought the ending was the worst of them all. What was the point of taking out the Authority if they were just going to come back? Especially the way they did it. Mediocre at best, in my opinion. Well, the fact is, Triple H was going to be back at some point for the WrestleMania build. It was inevitable. There was going to be something that was going to happen for the Authority to come back. I personally didn't think it was going to happen this soon. I actually wasn't expecting this week's Raw to be as eventful as it was. I figured, okay, it's going to be another filler week, and then, you know, maybe 3 weeks before the Rumble, or even right before the Rumble, we'd have some kind of angle where Triple H comes back. But it happened faster than I expected. I was expecting Triple H to be back, and I thought the angle was really well done. I thought that using Edge and Christian in that angle and using Edge's injury, was really well done. And I thought that Seth Rollins was just tremendous as a heel. I mean, his performance was incredible in my opinion. And, I really liked the segment. Yes, it did feel a bit rushed to have Triple H and Stephanie back already, just a month after being gone. But, that's what happens when Raw ratings plummet and they do their lowest numbers since 1997. I mean, that's what happens. WWE hits the panic button, and after several weeks of subpar Raws, I guess people in WWE, Vince McMahon, Triple H, the creative team, they felt they really had to get the ball rolling with the build-up for WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble. And, they had to kick things into high gear with this show. So, whatever. I mean, I was very entertained, and I'm happy that WWE is finally getting on track here with their build-up for the Royal Rumble and, of course, WrestleMania. So, definitely a thumbs-up show, in my opinion. And I really did enjoy that segment at the end. All right, this one comes from Chris Mace 39628. What did you think about Ryback's promo, and in some way, do you see it as somewhat shooting or responding to the remarks of CM Punk? Well, basically, it was the same thing that he said on Chris Jericho's podcast, and I felt that it was a really effective segment. I felt that it was a good idea to have Ryback come out and say those things, have him talk about his rise in WWE and all the ups and downs and trying to work his way up to the top. Tough enough, he mentioned. He talked about being part of Nexus and getting injured and being cut and coming back. And I felt that it really helped give him some sympathy from the crowd. And I thought that the segment was really well done. And it's interesting to see where WWE is going with Ryback. I know they're building up him versus Rusev right now. Is Ryback going to be the first guy to beat Rusev? I don't know at this point, but it does seem like WWE has big plans for Ryback. And I felt that the promo came off very well. He did mess up a few times. A few of his lines he screwed up, but the crowd was wetting him a little bit. But by the end, they were cheering for him. I think it was really effective when he showed off the scar. So I just think it was a good segment to get people emotionally invested in Ryback, and he's not just some one-dimensional meathead. And you really feel for the guy, and he comes out, talks about how he's passionate about WWE, and yeah, some people could see it as a little bit of a shot at CM Punk. So yeah, I felt that the segment was well done, and I enjoyed it, and I think it did good for Ryback and his character. All right, this one comes from Shifty G71. Hey Aaron, the Ascension to me might turn out to be Legion of Doom wannabes. What did you think? Well, yeah, based off of the first match on Raw, with the outfit and their whole demeanor, it did feel like a little bit of Legion of Doom, maybe mixed with Demolition, that kind of Smash Mouth style. And maybe that's WWE's intention. They're trying to recreate a modern-day Legion of Doom or Demolition or whatever. To me, it's too soon to really judge if it's a good idea or not to have them in that kind of character development. But, I'll give it time and see how it plays out. I was more upset about Miz and Mizdow being fed to those guys in their debut match, especially after losing the tag team titles earlier on the show, which I expected to happen at some point. Once again, it happened a little quick. I figured that Miz and Mizdow would stay champions for a little bit longer, but they lost the titles, and now it appears that WWE is going forward with the Miz and Mizdow breakup, which we all knew was inevitable, that it would happen at some point. But I was expecting Miz and Mizdow at WrestleMania, and with the way that the storyline's playing out and how fast it's moving, what are we going to see, Miz versus Mizdow in 2 weeks on Monday Night Raw? I really hope that WWE lets the storyline play out and give it some time. It really felt like this Raw, like they were just trying to have a lot of big storylines and just make it a very eventful show, which is fine. It's definitely starting the build up towards the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. But I really hope that WWE doesn't just blow off these storylines, which can be big matches at WrestleMania, and just give them away on Raw or even Fastlane or whatever. I want to see some of these storylines play out over time and have them finish off at WrestleMania. All right, this one comes from Spectre World. Has there ever been any Raw, SmackDown, or Impact that you watched that you simply been disgusted with and just turned off? Not even the main event. Not even to see the main event. I think for the most part, I've watched every single Raw in history from start to finish. Years ago, I would watch Raw because I was a fan of it. And then once I started the website, I started watching it because it was a business obligation to watch it. But still at times, I enjoy Raw, and even times when I don't, I sit through it anyways. SmackDown's a different story. There have been several episodes of SmackDown that, I'll admit I've skipped over. Just episodes of SmackDown that I knew really served no purpose. Actually, this past week's SmackDown, the one that was taped on Sunday before Raw, clearly that's a filler show. And I actually haven't even watched that SmackDown, and I don't know if I'm going to watch it at this point. I don't even know if it's necessary to watch it. And with Impact, same thing. For the most part, I think I've watched every Impact main event, but there have been parts of Impact that I've skipped over, especially in the last couple years. But for Raw, I pretty much watch every single Raw from start to finish because it is the A show after all, and that's the most important show to watch. All right, that'll wrap it up for this edition of No DQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. YouTube.com/NoDQCAW. Tell a friend about No DQ&A video. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest regarding the Royal Rumble, the authorities return, Daniel Bryan, what's going on with him. All this and more will be at NoDQ.com. We'll have updates throughout the week. And I will see you guys next time for more No DQ&A video. Thanks for watching.